All right, so here we are getting going, and of course, here we are in 2023. So I thought it would be really good to take a moment and think back to 2022. So many times we're in such a rush that we just keep going, right? And we turn around, and years later, we're like, whoa, what just happened? And so this is a lesson upon which I need to act more on, is that I need to take a moment and think about what's happened. What are the lessons learned? What should I repeat? What should I build upon? And what should I exclude from something I want to do in the future? So here's 22 things I wrote down from 2022 that came to my mind as I just look back at the year, what it is, the wins, the losses, and everything else in between. So number one, the road traveled is rarely even. So many times we think the road we're traveling on today is just the course. This is the course, right? It's going to stay like this. It's not, it's going to be smooth. It's going to be hilly, or it's going to be bumpy. No, it's just going to be the road. And then when something happens that the road either gets smooth, right, that we either get comfortable to it. So when the road gets bumpy again, we get lost into that journey again because we think that road shouldn't be there. So think about your road you're on today, and is that the road, or is that just the path you're on for the moment? Number two, going slow and going fast at times create the same result. So many times we rush into something, right? We do something so quickly, we push and we move, and we have all these things happen, and then ultimately we make a mistake, and then we have to slow down just to fix that mistake. And if we think back to the moment at hand, that if we just had taken causation to just think about the steps that we're taking and maybe gone a little bit slower, most notably, we'd be at the same result because we would have missed making a mistake that actually occurred because of us going and pushing out and going fast. On the other times, doing is always more impactful than thinking about it, right? We get in this motion here where we just think about all these actions we want to take, and then lo and behold, we never do anything, right? Instead, if we actually just go out there and just do something, ultimately we get some kind of result, whether it's the result we want or the result we don't, but at least we learn a lesson that can help us forward to move. And it gives us the power in our mind that action is okay, right? We think about so much, yet we do so little. Number four, we think of our life in the moment of time, but forget to view it as a series of these moments. Every part, it gets back to that road traveled, is that we're thinking at that moment, this moment right now, as our life, as the moment, and this is all there is, right? And we think that this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it, and this is all it will ever be. But we forget to think about that things are changing around us all the time. Things are always moving. Things are always adapting. And what we don't take into account is that our life has been a moment of these moments, right? It's been all these moments put together. And if we can get out of our head that this moment is the only moment and the only thing that we can exist as, and this is all we are, well, maybe we can do what we really want to do in our life. So stop thinking about this moment as the only moment that you can actually be, and think about all the moments that you've built upon to get to where you are, and all the moments that you are right in today that are going to build to where you want to be in your life. Number five, we are all going through things. And when they're good, when they're bad, someone else is in that same part of going through good and bad things. And if we can just get out of our own head and put it out there, put our energy out there to help others, we will all continue to push forward to the results we want. Number six, just showing up creates results. It's working out, right? I get up and just work out every day. And it's not easy. And some days I feel like I'm going through the emotions, and then I finally get going, right? Because I'm sore, I'm tired, or everything else in between. But just showing up gets the results. And if you're thinking about doing it instead of just doing it, where has that gotten you? So if you can just get going, doing something, doing some motion, although it may not feel like you're giving your true self, it may not feel like you're giving it your all, are you actually getting a result that you want by just doing something? The answer is most notably yes. Belief is the most powerful movement. Well, this is number seven. And at times we doubt ourselves, and most of our life is meant and built on doubts, built on things that we don't believe in ourselves. But if we can just believe in what we want to accomplish, believe in what we're doing and the steps we're doing could have a positive impact, well, it's really all we need. The hardest thing we do each day is to get out of our own mind, get out of our own way, and push forward to create results that could potentially create a better future for us. But we stop, or we really pause, or we freeze, or we just don't do because we can't believe that we could potentially do something good. So we wait, we stop, we stagger, we sabotage ourselves. We do all these things not to do because we don't want to believe in ourselves, when in fact, really there's so many other people that probably believe in us that we just won't give them credit because we want to find some doubt into what we do and some reason why we can't accomplish what we're meant to do. If they can, then you can, right? Think about something you want to do and think about someone else who's done it. And then tell yourself, well, if they've done it, then why can't I? Why can't I do it? Or why don't I deserve to do it? Or why am I not able to do it? If they've done it, then you can do it. As simple as that. Number 9, don't punish yourself for things that haven't happened yet. We're so critical in our mind. We're so critical in our ways that we go. We're so critical into what we do. And yet, we haven't actually had a result. And so we tell ourselves, well, we're a failure. We're all these different things, but we haven't yet failed or nothing happened that's been so bad that's punished us for our results. But yet we use our mind to punish ourselves for things that haven't happened yet. Ask yourself today, what are you doing right now to punish yourself for something that hasn't happened yet? What are you doing? Why? Why are you putting that upon yourself? Stop and let's get out there and get after it. Number 10, you will make bad choices. We always make choices that are not ideal, but your ability to power through them will define who you are. There is going to be something that you're going to choose to do that is not going to be helpful. It's going to be hurtful. It's going to be impactful. But the way you show up to either ask for forgiveness or help or really create a path forward from there is going to define who you are and how you're remembered for it. Don't let that last moment be that bad choice you make. Don't let that part of your life define you. Let what you did to create the better path forward define who you are. Number 11, goals don't matter without actionable steps to achieve them. Well, this can't be more dialed in than here we are in another New Year's resolution, another point of focus where, in fact, you are now at a point of now doing your resolution. But if you've come up with goals and all these things you want to do and want to be better for, well, then think about it. What is it, in fact, of action that you're going to take to accomplish these goals? Or is it just a thought? Is this something in your mind? I want this New Year's resolution, but there's no action behind it. Well, if there's no action behind it, then don't be surprised when that result fails, right? When you don't get to have that resolution come through and be impactful because there's been nothing of actionable substance that you have built behind it. You can't set a destination and then not take that first step along the road. You have to put action to get where you want to go. Number 12, hoping only works in the movies. This builds back to number 11. If you have a resolution, you have some path forward, but ultimately you're only hoping it happens and you are not putting the work, putting the deep work behind it, well then what do you think? You're going to have something show up that's going to magically happen? Hope, we love the movie Star Wars. Hope, right? That's what we have to build upon. But hope only happens rarely. Number 13, we need more discipline in our lives. We all want everyone else to show up and do what they say they're going to do, but we rarely will make ourselves show up and do what we're going to say we're going to do. We all want more discipline, but it's upon ourselves to be more disciplined because we said we would be more disciplined. Number 14, someone else has endured and succeeded through what you think is impossible. So right now you might have some big goal, big lofty thing, whether it's start a business, lose some weight, get dialed in to get a promotion, to go out there and buy your first investment property. You think it's impossible, but someone else has done it. Someone else has gone through things, gone through these things, gone through something. Maybe it's illness, maybe these other points. Someone else has succeeded through the impossible. So you have the option and the possibility for that to happen too. Be positive, be powerful, be thoughtful. Go forward into the impossible because ultimately it's going to build upon who you are becoming. Number 15, happiness is a choice. We all want to be happy, but then instead of just choosing to be happy, we just are miserable. Why not be happy? Why not think about all the things you have right now, all the things you're grateful for? It could be as simple as your health. It could be as simple as having a loving wife or husband or just healthy kids or just that you're able to get up and walk out of this room right now. It might be that you have clean water. It might be that you have a job that pays you each and every week. It might be all these different things that you have, yet we're unhappy. Why not just choose to be happy And if you're telling myself, oh, all these things are miserable, well, then change. There's no reason to sit there and just talk about why you're miserable and not happy. And if you are not making the choice to find a way to be happy, then that's on you and it's on nobody else. And I've been there myself. Number 16, if you need help, ask. If there's something else there that's keeping you away, that's putting you on the sideline that you just don't know your way out of, well, then just ask for help. It's one of the hardest things to do as an entrepreneur is to go out there and just ask for help. But one of the most helpful things you can do is go out there and ask for help. So today, ask for help. If someone's putting out a hand to help you, why push away that hand if it's going to help you out over the ledge? Ask for help today if there's something out there that you just don't have a clue of how to get to, or maybe you just need that push, you need that reminder, you need that support. Well, just ask for it. What's the worst that happens? They say no? I bet they won't. Number 17, if you can do anything, well, then the option is there, but you can't do everything. We get parts with social media, we get stuck into so many different things. We want to do this or that or just that next shiny object, but we put our hands into so many different projects and nothing comes to fruition. Well, why is that? Because we're not putting forward any effort fully into one thing. And that person that's putting the effort into one thing is crushing us because we have our hands into 15 different things at the same time. It's like trying to lose weight and gain muscle at the same time. You're trying to do two competing things. It's like trying to go out there and do all these different real estate strategies at the same time. Well, we're not focused on any strategy, so we're not getting the results that is meant to happen from that one strategy because we're too focused on anything and everything except the one thing. Number 18, think like everyone and get what everyone has. Is that what you want? Because if it is, that's great. But conventional thinking usually provides results. However, is that the results that you want and that are made for you and the impact that you're going to have in your life? And if it's not, then you have to think about what am I not thinking about that I need to do that may go against the grain but might produce the results that are going to get me the life I want. If you want to be like everyone else, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to have a steady paycheck, a steady job, be in a job that's predictable, that shows up, that you do each and every week, and there's this and that, great. There's nothing against that. But if you want to do something different and you want to be bold and big and go out there and have a life that at times is just outside of the norm, outside of the motion, outside of what is possible in your life, well, then you have to think about doing things that are outside the norm. Number 19, be careful the wishes that just might come through. You hear this in so many times, like people who become famous is that they get famous and they don't know how to deal with it because it's so outside, but in fact, that's what they've always wanted. And so we think about this, we want these great things to happen in our life, and then so many times when it happens, we're not ready for it because it's so far from who we can imagine ourselves and who we can believe ourselves as. So have big wishes, have big dreams. When they come through, know and make sure that that's exactly what you want. Number 20, worry about you sometimes. We have to maybe worry about ourselves sometimes and think about ourselves sometimes instead of forgetting to think about ourselves at all. Dialing back and taking a moment to put forward into us and make sure that we're building and what we're doing is actually creating our best selves. Well, that's the energy you need to have. And if you're not thinking about yourself and not trying to make yourself better, it's like that person who dies with all the money but has spent their life miserable and gotten very sick because they never took care of themselves, right? Is that the life? I don't know. Not for me. But you have to think about worrying yourself sometimes and making sure that you are providing yourself with your best self, to be your best self, and that's going to take with taking care of yourself in the right way. Number 21, if you're too worried about yourself on the other side of it, well, then you go out there and put the emphasis to help somebody else. There's someone else out there you can lend a hand to and put out. And if you have so much energy built upon you and all the things you don't have and all the bad things that are happening in your life, well, go put something else out there. Go help someone. Go outside of your way to go help someone who's not asking for help. And maybe you see is struggling, and if you can just go out there and just do that little thing, it might help you get away from yourself and get to the steps that you actually want in your life. And lastly, number 22, what you did yesterday is gone and soon forgotten. Today and now is where your focus needs to stay each and every day. Yesterday's yesterday, if it was good or bad, but today is what you need to be and where you need to be to get the results that you want. And that's going to occur each and every day that you go forward. And that cannot be more powerful here for 2023. Take action, build upon yourself, build upon your goals, build upon your resolve, and be your best self, because that is what you need and that is what you want. Focus on you today. Focus on where you want. Take action with where you are. Learn from your past, but be present in where you are and be impactful in what you're going to do. So that's 22 lessons learned from 2022. I can't really congratulate you for all you've done in your past, and get ready for where your path is to go forward. Here's to a huge 2023 for you to be your best self, for you to be better, for you to help others to get to where they want, and be the greatest person that you should be in your own life. Let's do this.